What is good, YouTube, wherever else you watching this video? This is my second test video to test out my live stream setup and the skills. You got to test. There's a lot of behind the scenes that go on and making sure that things is working correctly. I don't want no technical difficulties, so we got to test it out. We don't test it out. We are recording this video right now just to make sure. But hey, I'm not going to not make use of this time, though. Everything looking good. We got a subject that we got to discuss. And today's topic is why you cannot make him a man. They're going to be, we're going to review several reasons as to why you can't make him a man, sis. You can't do it. And so many of you are trying. You got a dude right now. You're trying to turn into a man. I mean, some of you got boys that you're trying to turn into a man. And I'm here to help you understand why you can't do that. You won't do it. You don't have the ability. You won't do it. And I'm going to give you a few reasons why. Now, I want to defer to a post that I made on Instagram. Let me bring it up. On this post, I talk about things will cooperate right now. Here we go. I call myself being prepared. We're good now. There it is. It's up. All right. So this post says, bruh, you can't be 30 living at home with your mom playing Xbox or PlayStation with Cheeto stains on your hands, doing the bare minimum, thinking a woman is supposed to submit to you. I got another one too. Let's go to that as well. Let's see. This one counts too. Know the difference between a man that dreams big and a man that is daydreaming. Now, you may be wondering, let me hit this one too. If you have never had a man challenge you to be the best woman you could be, you never had a man. Now, I'm going to start on this one first because I picked these three posts because these three posts had a few comments each that some people got in their feelings and they wanted to disagree. And I expect that. I can't expect that everybody is going to agree with what I'm saying. I don't expect it. Now, I'm not going to post people's comments. I could, because I'm petty like that, but I'm not going to. It's a new year, trying to turn over a new leaf of just keeping positive and not feeding into negative energy. So we're not going to do it. But the reason that I wanted to focus on these is because people tell them themselves. And you see, some comments I'll delete, some I'll keep up. It really depends. It depends if you start with ad hominem attacks, we're going to delete it. But if you make a post that's really going to show the ridiculousness in what you're saying and it validates what I'm saying, I'm going to keep it up. So I keep those up. So I wanted to focus on these three because these three posts talk about the makings of a man at the end of the day. These are traits and variances of a man that a man should have present that a woman cannot teach him. And what is going wrong is we've got conflicting ideologies about men that we can't have it both ways. Now, the feminist movement tries to tell you ladies, oh, well, rah, 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 equality, you know, you're a queen, you go, girl, you get it. Yeah, yeah. Okay, now, I'm just going to say it. I do not support the feminist movement. I'm not going to argue that with anybody. I'm just not going to, because I don't go on people's pages that support the feminist movement just to disagree and comment because I disagree. I have various reasons why I disagree, and it should not be expected as a man that I should automatically disagree with this ideology that I completely do not trust. It does not serve purpose to women of color. It is a movement that emasculates men, and I don't support it. But here's the problem that is going on. The problem that is going on is that the movement is trying to make women men. Now, some of you might say, Deeper, well, no. What the hell are you talking about? That's not what it is. It's not what it is. It's kind of what it is. It's kind of what it is. Now, here's the irony, though, and the hypocrisy in the whole thing. Some of these people have decided that they want their cake and eat it too. Now, as men, we're told that we cannot have our cake and eat it too. Okay? But the movement is trying to teach y'all that you can, and you can either. You see, a lot of men believe that women want to pick and choose the bits and parts of masculinity and being a man they like and discard the other ones. And that's not how this works. It's not how it works. It's unfair. Now, let me preface before somebody getting the feelings, all right? We can have fairness. We can have a lot of things. Hell, understand, I am Black. You think that I would never want equality amongst the people? Of course I do. But there's some things that are fair. There are some things that are not. There's some things we have to accept that we're never going to change. And what is happening is this movement is actually pushing backwards. Pushing backwards. And the reason it's pushing backwards is because women are coming across groups of men who have no idea what it is to have certain traits in them of masculinity and manhood. And now they're saying, well, I don't like the fact that I can run him over. I don't like the fact that he doesn't stand up for himself. I don't like the fact that I pump my own gas. I don't like the fact that if we have a flat tire, he doesn't know how to change it. I don't like the fact that if something breaks in the house, he doesn't know how to fix it or know what to do, what decisions to make in order to get it fixed. I don't like the fact that in the middle of the night, if we hear a bump in the night, he won't get up to go see what's going on, if we about to get robbed or not. I mean, and I can go on. That was just a few. Now, my thing is that, okay, those are ideals that you see a man should be partaking in. It's part of being a man. And I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. And I agree because my father was present. I was taught how to be a man. That's what it is. I agree. Now, what kills me inside, is that a lot of ladies, y'all say you want all this softness and you want these beta qualities and all this in a man. When as history shows and how actions show, that's not really what you want. You say it's what you want, and you'll use it for a while, and you'll abuse it for a while until you realize, no, no, and you're going to toss old boy to the side. Ask me how I know. Besides, women in my coaching, sessions telling me this, seeing women say this online, and experiencing it myself. I've experienced it myself. So then you think because you want these, you're going to try to teach old boy this stuff. And the thing is you can't. Because some of this stuff should have been taught when the boy was a child. So now do you think you're going to teach a grown man how to be a man? I really don't. No, and you shouldn't even try. So this particular post right here, I got a couple comments of some people that really didn't like this post. Really didn't. They completely misunderstood the purpose of it. Just blew it out of just ridiculousness. I'm talking ridiculousness. And some comments, they're just so ridiculous that I can't even lend myself to spend time responding to. So I just leave them alone. But part of being a man is being a leader. And part of being a leader is to challenge those who are following you. Now, those of you that are employed should understand this. So you should understand that your leader, which would be your supervisor, your manager, anybody at work, is going to challenge you. They would not be a good employer. They would not be a good manager. And as somebody that has spent a considerable amount of time managing people, I know firsthand that you need to challenge your people. See, what a lot of you don't like is that in order to be a leader, you have to have followers. Because if you don't have followers, what are you leading? It's kind of like some people that will say, how are you a manager, but you're not managing people? Same concept. So for you, in order to be led, which means you have to be a follower, which, man, ain't gonna lie, a lot of you don't like being a follower. But there are those of you that do. I don't know the split. I'm not going to sit here and throw numbers out and pretend like I know what I'm talking about as far as the percentage of who likes to be led and who doesn't. But from what I see, is there are a good amount of you that don't like to be led. Well, you can't have someone follow you if you can't have somebody lead you if you're not willing to be a follower. And that is a key characteristic in malehood that y'all need to understand, and you can't teach that. And you're not going to teach it by being defiant. You're not going to teach it by being disrespectful. You're not going to be able to teach it. That is something that if that man is a grown-ass man, he's going to have to see in some type of other male mentor or someone else in his circle exert those characteristics. Then he just may learn a few things and change, but you're not going to be able to teach that to him. The pie is baked, baby. The pie is baked. You're not going to be able to take a baked pie and uncook it. That's the way that is. That's the way that is. You can't teach someone something you're not. And this is where a lot of you are making mistakes. And you're getting very frustrated with some of these beta males that you pick because you want a beta male because you want to exert a level of control over a beta male. I said it. I've experienced it. I've been a beta male in the past. I've seen it by my female friends. I've seen it by my female family members. I've experienced it. Women like a level of control. Now they're going to start out saying, oh, no, we don't. No, we don't. They're going to tell you, understand this. And this is going to be hard, but this is the truth. I don't listen to what a woman says. I watch what a woman does. And women will say they want a beta male, but their actions will show they want an alpha male. At the end of the day. Now, they might settle for you at the time being, but believe, buddy, you're going to be a placeholder until she sees something better that comes along. But until then, she's going to enjoy exerting a level of control over you until she gets tired of it, because most of the time they get exhausted with that. I mean, I'm just keeping it real. I'm keeping it real. They get exhausted with it. They will tell you anything you want to hear to the blue in the face. They're going to tell you they want all these things in men. But history has shown that certain characteristics of men, females do not respect. And they don't respect that whole beta male thing. They have no respect for a man that'll allow you to run over them. I'm going to give you an example. At some point in my life, I did the beta thing. It was short-lived, but I tried it because I thought that, well, because I was having a series of failed relationships, I thought, well, maybe I let prior relationships convince me that me being an alpha male was too aggressive and too abrasive. And so I switched up to be more beta because I thought I was going to appease my prior partners. Ladies and gentlemen, that did not work. That backfired on me. It backfired. Because you see, then when in the next relationship, when I tried to do that, I let a woman run over me. I let her run over me. She had more respect for the dude that cheated on her than the dude that was trying to give her the world, and she was ungrateful. Ungrateful. Now, I was trying to give her the world, but I wasn't fully in. Like, I didn't dive fully in the beta because there were some things I'm just not going to do. I'm not going to do because I need to look out for me. I need to protect myself because at the end of the day, she's not here now. At the end of the day, I learned she was not to be trusted. At the end of the day, me taking the moment to protect myself paid off for me. Because if I would have allowed myself to get deeper in that beta shit and falling into the things that she wanted me to fall in line with, I would have been in a real fucked up situation. At the end of the day. And I'm glad I didn't. But I let myself get far enough in to have emotional struggles with it in the end when the relationship was over. I allowed that to make me second guess who I was, or whether I was really alpha or beta, whether I was really being difficult, when I came to the realization that I need to get back to the old me and get out of this beta shit and see that she's just taking advantage of me, seeing that how she talked about her exes and all these alpha qualities that she liked in them. But here's what happened. What happened is when I switched back to the old me, she couldn't handle it. She couldn't handle it. When I started saying no, when I started putting my foot down, she couldn't handle it. Which is weird because at the end of the day, that's really what she wanted. Because when I was beta, she tried to run the fuck all over me. That's the irony of it all. That's the hypocrisy of it all. I challenged her in no way any other man challenged her, and she couldn't handle it. A leader is going to challenge you to be the best person you should be. And I'll be damned if you're my girl, you need to challenge me to be the best man I can be. And so many people take words like challenge and submission out of context. and they apply it to some negative stereotype that they've built in their head. And so then what they do is then they come on to comments and they make an argument that's basically against themselves. They're arguing against their own thoughts. And I just want to let people do that and look stupid on their own. I'm not going to argue with people that do that. Next, this one here. Know the difference between a man that dreams big and a man that is daydreaming. I love this one because this is a situation where I see women really try to make a man when they have a daydreamer on their hands. Now, you know when you got a daydreamer on your hands. He always talks about starting a business. He always talks about being a rapper. That seems to be the favorite one. He always talks about a lot of things, but there's no action. And you're trying to be there for him. You're trying to push him. You are, literally making life very easy for him. You're giving him money, and there are no results. No results. And the longer that you go on when there's no results, the more angry and resentful that you get. The more arguments that you have. The more you feel like you have to then go in mommy mode and try to teach him a few things. Well, sis, you're not going to teach him anything. Because this is another moment where a man needs to be a man, and you cannot teach that. So you got a daydreamer. What's the difference between a daydreamer and the man that dreams big? Because some of you get that screwed up. You see, a man that dreams big is actually taking steps. He's actually doing the work. He's actually planning. He's actually following through. And trust, he's going to fail along the way. No, nobody started off with greatness. You see, right now, I'm in that time in my life where I'm now executing the things that I wanted to execute over the last 10 years, but I didn't because I put women before me. And it didn't pay off. So I have been making failures along the way, and I will continue to do that until it's my time to shine. I'm making moves. I am broke. I admit it. I'm broke as fuck. I'm a broke entrepreneur trying to make it, trying to come up, trying to get my bread. There is a difference between being broke because you're trying to make money and get your bread and follow your dream than when you're being broke, sitting around doing nothing. And sis, no matter how angry you get, no matter how resentful you get, no matter what you do, you're not going to be able to teach that character trait to a man. That is something other men have to do. That is something he has to observe in other men and then want to emulate that in his life. You are not going to be able to teach that. You're not. So you got to stop trying. You are not. Now, some of you ask, why am I coming across these things? Well, that's a good question because I got answers for you. Why am I coming across men who don't want to be men? Why am I coming across men with more feminine qualities and feminine traits than masculine ones? I want you to divert back to the beginning of the video and then think about the things that I said in response to that question. Because you had some men that drank the Kool-Aid. You had some men that were raised by single mothers. There wasn't a male figure in the home that was able to lay that masculine foundation for that boy who's now a man It was probably a man boy. It wasn't laid. So these men have been inherently taken on feminine traits that apparently you ladies don't like. And this is the part where I say it's ironic, it's, it's definitely hypocritical, and just wild that you would expect a man to exhibit masculine qualities when there is a movement attacking masculinity. And some of you who support the movement are having these issues with men. But you can't have it both ways, sis. You can't have it both ways. Do you want a man or not? See, we're not going to change the male psyche, as we're not going to change the female psyche. Men have been who they are since the beginning of time. Women have been who they are since the beginning of time. But the problem of what I'm finding is too many people are trying to change that, which is, in my opinion, you're trying to do the work of God, and you cannot do that because you are not God, and it's the way it is. And you're getting frustrated with now the shortcomings that come along with trying to strip men of their manhood. And in turn, what has happened is now you have women with more masculine traits. And understand, especially those of you women who are upset that you're single, men don't want masculine women. They just don't. The feminine ones might, because they don't know any better, because they have a lot of inherent feminine traits. But masculine men don't want that. I know. I don't want it. I've been in the position of having a power struggle with a partner, and I'll never do it again. I will never do it again. I will never compromise my manhood or masculinity for anyone on earth ever again. It does not pay off by any means. And I've learned this the hard way. Learned it the hard way. And now, as you know, ladies are getting older, you're learning it the hard way. So that's the difference between a man that dreams big and a man that's daydreaming. A man that dreams big is actually doing the work. He's actually producing. You see what he's doing, whether it's working or not. When you got a daydreamer, you just got a dude sitting on the couch with thoughts and ain't doing a damn thing. That's the difference. Let's move on to the next. Now this one. Now, this one really fits into the beginning when I really kind of dive into my disapproval of the feminist movement. Okay. And I'm going, I want you to read it. You see it. But what I want to do is I want to focus on a comment that a particular young lady said. Now, I could be petty and show her name, which I knew I was going to do this video, so I should have just blocked it out because I'm not trying to be petty like that. But I want you can go look at it for yourself if you like. I had to mute her. Because I'm not going to go back and forth with people. I'm just not. Just because we disagree, that doesn't give you the right to incite an argument, an endless argument that's never going to go anywhere. And neither of us are going to change our minds. So I have to mute people like that. I didn't block her, but I muted her. All right. Now, I'm going to be nice just in case she runs across this video, somebody's snitching, and I'm just going to read you the comment, and you can go see it for yourself. All right. This is what kills me right here. And you know what kills me? She had the nerve to say, "Don't at me." How you gonna say "don't at me" on your comment on my post? And I did at her too. What the fuck you think this is? All right, here's what she says. Fuck your expectation of women submitting to men, period. We are alpha, we give life. Every woman's not alpha, and because you give life, that doesn't make you an alpha. Okay? That was ridiculous, number one. Submit to a man for a fucking what? Son, most likely she works and make the same amount he does while still giving birth, having periods, getting disrespected on a daily. Oh, so only women are getting disrespected. Men aren't. So, I mean, you're doing what you were born to do. Give birth, have your period. You want a medal? Let's continue. Women, wake up. It's time for a revolutionary change in leadership. All right. Let me finish it. We got a woman vice president 100 years after just being allowed to vote. We was able to vote a few hundred years of not being allowed to read. Why? Because men know knowledge is power. Men know having choices is power. I hope I'm alive to see the strength women possess, the strength men has tried to suppress for years, come to light. What does, and this is where she just goes wild. What does Adam and Eve, rape culture, and abortion laws have in common? Made up by men. Wake up, submit to your goals, don't at me. Bruh, the ridiculousness of everything she just said is hugely apparent. Hugely apparent. Now, I went to look at her page, because if you're going to be out here trying to be disrespectful, I'm going to go check your shit out and see what you on. So I went to go see what she's on, and she's on a whole lot of nothing. Now, she got a little, she got a lot of page showing her body. She got a little podcast going. I mean, I'm going to be honest, she definitely looks like, we're going to say there's some stud qualities about her, okay? Stud. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to explain to you, okay? Apparently, so she's a band musician. Now, I'm not going to make any other judgments based on what I see on her page. She's got a lot of followers. I don't know how real they are because she don't have a lot of posts, and you don't get a lot of followers. You don't get 60-something thousand followers by only having 62 posts. That is very suspect to me. Very much so. But I'm going to say to you that she does not look like your regular lady. I'm gonna just say that. And you know what? There's really nothing wrong with that. But I'm telling you, here's the thing. My issue isn't necessarily with feminism itself. My issue is a lot of feminists are very angry. They're very angry. They're very toxic. I had a few feminist friends I had to get rid of. I just, and understand that a lot of them are very toxic. They come on post angry, and if you don't tell a feminist that you don't agree with feminism, because you're gonna damn near start a fight. And that's the issue that I have with them. I haven't met too many of them that are chill. I haven't met too many of them that's willing to listen and understand why I disagree. And the only thing I say is I disagree. I don't come in and attack any particular thing that they say. I'm just saying I don't agree with it. And I've got my reasons. If you want to go through it, we can go through it. But I'm not going to force that upon you. And I don't force that upon people. And what I find is that A lot of these these feminist liberal Karens out here try to force it on you. And that's what I don't like. And that's what I find disrespectful. And that's what I find disingenuous. And that's what that's one of the reasons, and that's why a lot of men don't respect the movement. But we're not gonna make this post isn't about that. What it's about is it's showing the hypocrisy in the male female dynamics. It it is, because I'm not going to get into this battle royale with people over masculinity and femininity and the movement. You know, we got the red pillars, we got the incels. I mean, we can battle all day, but it's never going to change anything. And the point that I'm trying to make in her on her comment is that men have ruled the world since the beginning of time. You're not going to be able to, it's the goal of women is not to outpower us. But that shouldn't be the goal. We should all be trying to work together collectively for change, for equality, for all people. You know what I'm saying? And the feminist movement doesn't support that. It puts down men and masculinity to boost them up. And that's I'm just gonna say it. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. There's nothing legitimate in what she said here. We don't care if you have knowledge. What would knowing that you are as smart as me or smarter going to put me in my feelings? What is that going to do for me? That's not going to do anything for me that's detrimental because you're smart. I'm smart too. Like I can hold myself in a very intellectual conversation in any circle, anywhere on planet Earth. That doesn't make me special. That doesn't mean I'm going, because of how smart I am, I'm going to topple the rule of power, which the rule of power that everyone knows on Earth is the white male. I'm not going to topple that because I got knowledge and because I'm smart. Now, will I be able to manage myself through life and get through life a little bit differently and maybe a little bit better than someone who doesn't have the knowledge that I have? Oh, for certain. But it hasn't stopped what's happening. Anybody before me hasn't been able to stop that power. And this, why should anybody be in a power struggle with a man? What's my whole point in this? I don't know her sexual orientation, and I don't really care. But at the end of the day, women that have this type of mindset are now experiencing, she looks fairly young, probably in her mid-20s, maybe early 30s, that have this mindset, end up finding later in their late 30s and 40s that this is not the way. This ain't working. It's not going to work for them. And I'm not just saying that just to be saying it. It's from experience. You can go on any show. I'll give you 2 shows, as a matter of fact, that you can go listen, you can go watch. Now, you're not going to like the first one for sure. The second one, I don't know if you really heard anything about him. But I want you to go listen to Kevin Samuels. I want you to go watch the show about Your Average at Best. You'll hear it there. And you'll hear it on a lot of other shows he's got about women that have these super high expectations of trying to bestow their power upon a man, okay? And yet they want a man and they're having trouble finding one. Like, see, to even make the comparison of Adam and Eve, rape culture, and abortion laws have something in common. Are you kidding me? Ladies, ladies, ladies. And this is, oh, I hope she doesn't have any children, but this is the type of nonsense that these boys out here that are turning into the very men that you are saying that you don't like are being taught. And then you want to try to, when you land them, make them men. And you can't. You can't. You're not going to. Men need to see manhood from other men who's doing it and living it. Period. This is never, ever, 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 ever going to change. Ever. I'm keeping it 1,000. Keeping it 1,000. It's never going to change, y'all. And it's really time that people start to understand that it's never going to change. If it's men that you want, if it's men that you want to date, if it's men that you want to marry, you can't try to change a whole sex as a whole based on certain characteristics of the sex that you don't like. Because God knows I'm not trying to do that with women. If more people took the time to understand the opposite sex, there'd be a lot of less anger, a lot of less aggression, a lot of less issues that people have with the opposite sex. If they had a solid understanding of them. We don't necessarily have to like every characteristic of a man or every characteristic of a female, but we understand that's who they are. Let me give you an example. For instance, y'all take a long time in the bathroom. We as men, we hate it. But most of you women do that. That's part of you being a woman. We don't like it, but we accept it and we deal with it. That comes part with being with a woman, especially if you live with one. All right. We're not gonna change it. We might complain, we might say, hurry up, I gotta take shit, whatever. But at the end of the day, we know that's something that women do. It is what it is. Same with men. Y'all don't like us leaving the toilet seat up. Oh, you hate that shit. You hate it with a passion. What does what men do? It's what we do. Now, you're going to try your best to force us into not doing it. Most of you won't succeed at it, but you're going to try at least because it's in your nature as a woman to try it. And it is what it is. It's what we do. It's what you do. I can't change female nature. As ladies, you can't change male nature. But I'm all for fairness. But even though I'm all for fairness, I understand, especially as a Black man in America, that everything ain't fair, and it probably won't be fair in my lifetime. And what I've had to do in my whole life is walk through this country understanding that everything isn't always going to be fair. And let me tell you how much easier it has made life for me once I came to that realization that I had to adapt and adjust to what is happening in society and the way I'm going to be treated because of the color of my skin. That's not to say I'm not to fight. That's not to say to try to be the best person I'm going to be, because you damn well I'm going to be trying for that. I'm gunning for that. I'm doing that. I've achieved that in certain aspects of my life. But I can't walk around angry and mad at the dominant race in our country. And I know in my head that I'm not going to be able, no matter how angry I get, to change that dynamic in this country, in the world. And the movement, the feminist movement, they're trying to do that so hard. And some of y'all are sticking to it, and that's fine. And like I said, I don't have a problem with feminists themselves, but I have a problem with how they try to bestow that upon others and bring down another sex for them to rise. Because you see, as Black people, we're not trying to push white people down to come up. We just want what's equal and what's fair. And if the feminist movement was about that, things would be different. But it is clearly not. But yet, you want a man to be a man, and you can't have it both ways. So you have to decide what is more important to you. Because I'm going to be honest, I don't want a masculine woman. What is the point of having a masculine woman? If I wanted a masculine woman, I might as well be a man. There are certain feminine and female traits that I'm attracted to as a woman. And I'm attracted to as a man that attracts me to a woman. And if you are masculine, that means those traits are not present. What's the point? You're not going to be able to teach it. It has to come from a man. There needs to be a mentor. There needs to be more men out here being good role models for these men. And I understand or not, because a lot of them didn't get it in their childhood, and they may never get it as an adult. And that's something you got to come to terms with. You're going to have to find you a man that knows what it is to be a man. And a woman's definition of what a man is not the definition. And you don't get to define it. You don't get to define it. Other men define it. Not you. You ain't going to be able to teach them. Man, that was a little heavy for first of the year. But I just really had to address that. I really, really did. Because those of you that follow me and know what I'm about and my ideologies and what I believe in we as people having a solid understanding of one another and having as much equality as we can. But we got to understand that certain things are not fair. They're never going to be fair. And if we're going to be smarter, we need to have certain levels of understanding. And if that level of understanding is not present, nothing is ever going to change. Never going to change. Thank y'all for watching the show. Like I said, this is the second. Well, I didn't even make this one a live stream. I just recorded it just to make sure, A, that I could get through it, the whole thing without any glitches. I had to do a couple takes before I was able to get this one to go smoothly without any glitches with the camera or any glitches with the video quality or the mic or anything. and there isn't. I will be starting live streams soon. Go check out my IG, Deeper One. You see on the bottom of the screen, you see everywhere I'm at on Twitters, on Facebook, on Patreon, IG, where I'm at, YouTube. Also, I got my Cash App up, so support your boy. I really appreciate it. Go like and subscribe wherever you see in my videos. I would appreciate it. It's 2021. I'm trying to come out heavy out the gate, not playing no games. I'm way more serious on my shit than I was last year. Also, if you need some coaching, please send me a DM. I'm working on my website as we speak to get it on and popping and book a session. But otherwise, this is Deeper One. This is the In Too Deep test live stream. Thank y'all. Happy New Year. Let's hope 2021 is way better than last year. Get your mind right. Get your money up. I am also.